Thanks, Mackenzie. And looks like we have Deb here. Hi, Deb. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Sorry, I forgot I was on mute.
That's okay. Well, it's good to see your face. And do you
Thank
mind
you.
telling me where you're from?
I am currently in Lewis, Delaware, uh,
Okay.
originally from Western PA,
Okay.
but I have been in Lewis for about 12 years now.
What's Delaware like? I've never been.
Crowded.
Is it really?
Crowded. Yeah, it's a very big beach destination for New York, DC, Jersey, and Virginia. Kind of people trickle in during actually the off season as well to go to a lot of our beaches. So it's kind of crowded.
Really?
I moved here as a massage therapist and then I decided to do some graduate school work. So I went back to school for health and wellness coaching and clinical herbalism. And during the time that I moved here, I had breast cancer, treated for that at City of Hope, which was CTCA at the time in Illinois. And
Okay.
then at my 5-year celebration, I found out I had multiple myeloma and thyroid cancer. So, woo, navigating that.
All right. Well, glad you're here.
Thank you.
And if you could share with me, because and everyone here, we all have our story and our journey, and there's some things that I have relied on that have given me strength and courage and hope to be able to navigate, my three cancer encounters. Would you mind sharing some things that give you strength and courage and that keep you going?
Mm. I like to plant lots of herbs and try to cook with
Mm.
them a lot. I do try to like get my hands in the soil, get my feet in the soil just to kind of ground myself to earth.
Yeah.
I love fostering kittens. So I'm that person that if I
Okay.
have a room I can close the door, I will
Yeah.
bring in. I just about 7 weeks ago brought in a pregnant mother cat that delivered that same night. So I had the opportunity to witness a live birth and
Oh,
watch
wow.
these little kittens kind of grow up, and now they're like little terrorists running around. Um,
How
but I
many kittens were delivered?
She had four. She had four. So
Wow.
that's a lot, honestly. That's a lot because they have those very sharp little claws and they don't care if you have pants on or not. They just climb everything. So
Mm.
I try to honestly, I try a lot to do things for other people or with other people because I otherwise I'm a Pisces and I get very caught up in my own head. I spend a lot of time ruminating about things and revisiting conversations and what would I do if I had the opportunity to change what I said? And it's
Mhm.
a lot of wasted energy. So I always make the joke that I live in a denial bubble that's like Jeannie's bottle. It's very pretty in here, So I basically I try just not to focus on the cancer because the second diagnosis, the multiple myeloma, was I didn't have any symptoms at the time. It was a random blood check that my oncologist was like, your protein's a little high. Let's look at it. And then 9 months later, I had a random rib fracture. And then I started treatment after the rib surgery. And then I had my transplant for my stem cells last May. So it kind of became an active cancer very quickly. And I'm having a very hard time accepting the diagnosis. So I basically spend a lot of time pretending it's not happening. So it would be
Mhm.
nice to, I think, shift that narrative to something that makes me feel like, in whatever way this comes out, that I have a better relationship with the cancer so
Mhm.
that I am not afraid of what it's going to do next. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of what I experienced was in between my monthly appointments. It's that that wondering and um I just felt like I could easily focus on the what if,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And the only thing that really would help me through it was to consciously focus on, at the time I was working on All My Children, the soap opera. So
Mhm.
what this taught me was each day I had to show up and play a role as my character of Josh Madden on All My Children. And for that day of focusing on that character and that role, we as actors, we have to ask questions like, well, who is this? What is this character's core values? What do they
Mhm.
believe in? What do they want? And then from there, you build your self identity and based on that. And then the actions for how you show up in life are contingent on those three core values and the who, what, when, where, why of your circumstances.
Mhm.
And by choosing who you are and choosing the role that, well, when I was working on All My Children, it's the role that you are hired to play. But in life, you get to choose what role you want to play.
Mhm.
So what has helped me is no matter what's going on in my life, I choose to be lived by the three core values of inspiration, self expression, and boldness. And if I were to ask you what three core values that you choose to be lived by, because if we don't choose this, the default, what can creep in there is fear, doubt, uncertainty. But we have the choice to decide who we choose to be in the face of anything.
Yeah.
And this way, we don't allow our circumstances to define who we are. We get to decide who we are.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I've discovered too is our reality, like what we think is reality and absolute truth. What I've discovered in life is that our truth and our absolute reality is based on our perspective.
Mhm.
Doctors have their perspective, friends and family have their perspective. And the danger is if we listen too much to the so called people who love us, the experts, and so we can tend to live into their reality instead of ours. And because when I grew up in an environment where it was all about be a good little boy, go to school, get good grades, and don't act out. And so I grew up in this bubble of, okay, I just need to make sure I'm a good boy and I people please and I do everything that everyone else wants me to do and wants me to be. And as I grew up and started to go into these auditions and go to my acting classes, my acting teacher would stop us and say, why are you trying to show up here and please everyone? You're not here to perform or to please your audience. You are here to honor yourself and honor who you are in service of the character and the role that you're playing. And so really that helped me start to shift more of my focus on who does Colin choose to be in this role, not only on the stage but in my life. And so by practicing this, I started to become more empowered with how I showed up. And it allowed me to go into my treatments, go to the hospitals, talk to my doctors. And no matter what was told to me, no matter what the, how many tests and poked and being prodded and lit up with CAT scans and chest x rays, I knew that I got to choose who I wanted to be in the face of this and who I choose to be. And it can shift. At that time, I chose to be Courage. I chose to be Maximus from Gladiator. I choose to be Supreme Health and Wellness. And this way, we get to show up and tell the world who we are instead of the world telling us who we are. And it sounds like with your gardening and your herbs, you've got a great foundation that keeps you supported in health and wellness. And now, from the mental standpoint, who would you say you choose to be as to be defined by and lived by the three core values? What would you say?
I remember when you talked about this, I was driving someone to the airport at the first session. So I had you on my phone while I was driving back from Philly. Um, and I had to pull over to write mine down. The first one was stepping into my own innate power as a healer, because
Yes.
I'm not only a massage therapist, I'm a Reiki master, a yoga instructor. I have some
Ooh.
Ayurvedic training. Like, I'm all about the portable training. I'm all about something I can take anywhere and utilize and teach other people the skill so that they
Mhm.
have the knowledge too. Not everyone needs to go to grad school to get a degree. Like, get the knowledge from people that want to share it. Um, I wanted to fearlessly speak my truth about everything because I was a people pleaser too. My dad was a minister, and I grew up in the world with four other siblings, and it was be good kids. Your daddy's, you're in the church, you need to act appropriately.
Yep.
Um, and then I had trouble like narrowing down that third one. So I actually had a fourth. Embracing the unknown is a real big one for me because I like to plan, I like to write lists. I like to have like a syllabus of things I want to get done. But what I notice with that list is I rarely ever accomplish everything on it. Then it rolls over to the next day and the next day and the next day. So that's I think that's a work in progress for me. But radiating joy and peace,
Mm.
specifically joy and specifically peace, because I have a lot of people in my closer world that are also very frayed right now. They're either also dealing with cancer, or they're people that don't know how to navigate work with someone dealing with cancer. So being able to allow them to be where they are, God bless you,
Thank you.
you're welcome, and just finding joy in those little things, which is why I find kittens fun because, they're just funny. They're like a little cable show of insanity. And plants love it when you talk to them. They bloom for you. So finding little ways each day to just be okay with where I am in that moment and just embrace that has been
Mhm.
a bigger part of what I've been navigating over the past month or so since we started your program. Just really focusing on not the ruminating thoughts, but just stopping that. When that thought comes, you have to acknowledge it, but you have to set it down too. You don't need to live in that.
Exactly. Exactly. So, world class naturopathic healer, is that what you would say
I
is?
I don't necessarily have the naturopathic training. I do have clinical herbalism and some Ayurvedic wellness
Okay.
knowledge. Um, I don't know if I know what a title would be of what I'm moving towards.
So, if you choose, what is the epitome of ultimate health and wellness? Radiance. What are some characteristics?
I would say, well, radiance definitely radiating it. I think embracing the rocky stuff because there are herbs that grow in the cruddiest soil that you literally could ignore all year and they get wilted in the sun, and then you pour some water on them, they come back. And I have a Thai basil that does that. It's self-seeded somehow. Like, just being able to find and be okay with the rocky footing so that you can also embrace the I can't think of the word for it, but the not smooth terrain, the rough terrain, when you get that adversity, to embrace that as well, because that also enables you to be stronger. It shouldn't be easy and handed to you because you don't appreciate wellness really if you don't also have illness. And I think being able to acknowledge it and have a conversation with the illness so that it's not just about all of the research and doing all of the treatments. It's also understanding what parts of my life did I stop tending to that created a crevice for that weed to come up. And I think
Mhm.
that that is something I did so much for other people, and I lived in this bubble of just be kind and love everybody and give all of yourself, even if they're not asking for it. And I realized the depletion that that creates in your own vibration
Yes.
is really toxic for you. If you don't pay attention to that
Yeah.
vibration, your vibration gets weaker and weaker and weaker, and then suddenly you're not connecting with all those powerful healing elements.
Mhm. So it sounds like, based on what you're telling me, it sounds like what you have been being lived by is resilience,
Mhm.
appreciation,
Yes.
joy, and
Yes.
peace.
Mhm.
So you've got four. You're special.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, and we're about to fill out and create our day, you can choose at the very top of the page here at the first part, and it begins on page 28. And I'm going to pull this up here to show you the. So this is the sample, create your day. And each day you get to create your day. And at the very top, you get to state to yourself, to your subconscious, to the universe, to the world, to everyone in your community, today I am. And
Mm.
so you can use one word. Deb, it sounds like you've got four words you
Mhm.
can use. Today I am resilience. And you can add adjectives to it as well. You could add I am loving resilience, or I am patient resilience. I am appreciation in the face of uncertainty. I am abundant joy. And I am a tidal wave of peace that washes over every single cell in my body, creating a peaceful resonance of harmony and equilibrium so that my body can do what it was designed to do and allow the divinity of God and the universe and ultimate healing to flow through me 24/7, producing calm, producing not an acceptance of what's happening, but an acceptance that I'm in the singularity of deciding who I am, not defined by my human body, and that I am much grander. I am the divinity of God flowing through me at every second, and that is limitless, that is boundless. And in that state, you start to think about, okay, if the divinity of God is flowing through me, am I going to sit here and allow my physical circumstances stop me from doing what I was meant to do by being here? And so, what is that? Most of what we do when we are allowing the divinity of God to flow through us is we end up becoming very creative. So, what do you want to create while we're here? Because we're all of us are not going to be here forever. But if you look at all the amazing things that were created from a lot of ingenious, creative people throughout time, how do we want to be remembered? Whether we're here for 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 80 years, it's not the amount of time that we're here. It's what impact did we make in the world? And how do you want to be remembered for how you lived your life? Because we have the opportunity to create an amazing legacy that not only honors us, but it encourages and inspires others to live with bravery and courage in the face of whatever it is that they're dealing with. When I was going through my cancer battle, I read Lance Armstrong's book, and just reading about how he went through his chemotherapy and through all of his treatments, he was determined and focused on getting back on his bicycle to be able to race again, because he knew himself to be a world-class champion bicycle rider. And that's who he was. And regardless of whether or not you get to race in the Tour de France or whatever it is, you love to grow plants. You love to be around nature. You love to be a safe space for these kittens to be loved and taken care of. And that's beautiful, and that's enough. But we've got to choose something. Otherwise, the world will tell us and dictate the terms of who we are and how we show up. Would you agree?
Yes.
So as we go through this, we can write down, and I'll move to a blank page here. And let's see. So the first one is page 38. So we get to choose our day. So let's choose our day, everyone. Actually, let's move to Tuesday. So it's Tuesday. You would write the date here. And Deb, did you receive your manifestation playbook?
Yes.
All right. Excellent. So we're 30 days into this, but if you haven't had a chance to really start to fill this out, you can start today as the day one of your 90 days. So if we think about what do we want to create in the next 90 days? Much like when I film a movie, it takes anywhere between 3 weeks to 90 days on average to film a movie. So at the end of the 90 days, what story do we want to tell? What do we want to create? What do we want to transform in the next 90 days? Do we want to transform? What impact do we want to create in the world? Starting with today I am. So everyone here, choose who you decide to be today. Today I am world-class health and wellness. Today I am a New York Times best-selling author. If you like to write. Today I am an Oscar-winning actor. Today I am the best mom in the world. Today I am the epitome of self-love. Who do you choose to be? Because we got to remember that our subconscious needs to be reminded about who we are. Our brain and our subconscious are almost like Chat GPT. It needs to be prompted. Our brain and our subconscious are incredibly powerful, just like Chat GPT. But if we don't prompt it with the empowering prompts, it's going to produce disempowering results. So if you think about over the next 90 days, what you want to create, you can start here on page 36, and you can put in the days. So you could start here with, here's Tuesday, and you would put May 6th. And then Wednesday, May 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. And then you just fill in the actual days for whatever month you're starting. And at the end of the 90 days, who will you be? What will the results be from what you're going to create over the next 90 days? Because when we are playing in the world of divine creation, amazing miracles can come out of this. And we start to create the space for us to step into the role that we want to play in fulfilling on this story that we're going to be telling. So, Deb, over the next 90 days,
Mhm.
if you were to start thinking about, well, what do I want to create over the next 90 days that inspires me, that lights me up, that might make a difference in other people's lives? Is there anything that starts coming to mind?
Yes.
What's that?
I wrote today, I am a healer building a resource bank of programs to share with others. And that is small little workshops to teach people about basic herbs that they can cook with that are helpful. That is yoga poses to help with certain emotional, literally the gamut. So it's things that I had to work on while I was in a graduate program for herbalism, that I created small workshops to present in my community and to my friends, just to get used to, for lack of a better term, being a teacher standing up in front of other people, which is
Okay.
awkward, even if it's your friends, if you're not necessarily prepared for it. So that is what I am interested in putting that focus in. And a lot of that is doing the research and doing writing, preparing it in a way that it is easily digestible to
Mhm.
someone that does not have the advanced training. And that is the key, because I used to think I had to get trained to learn how to do something. And I
Mhm.
remember someone telling me that my mother had sent them a spiritual message after her passing, that I need to stop taking classes. I don't have to pay for any more classes. I need to take the knowledge I have and build on that. And I think that's a really powerful acknowledgement for me, that I don't need to trust someone else is smarter than I am. We all have the innate ability to heal within
Yes.
ourselves. Like you said, I mean, your brain is so powerful. We forget that as we grow. We forget that. And I would like to remind people in a very affordable, i.e., free way, to tap back into that innate healing that we all have. And I don't
Mhm.
need to pay a professional to teach me how to do it.
So, can I propose something to you and I'll offer
Absolutely.
you something?
Yes.
So, I do a podcast called Beyond Impact,
Mhm.
and it sounds like you could make a huge impact on a lot of people out there by sharing your knowledge and expertise about herbology and sharing some health and wellness tips to people, like you said, who are looking to incorporate more healthy ways of supporting their body.
Mhm.
If you're open to it, we could talk about having you on my podcast to talk about sharing some of the things that you are the expert in, to make it easier for people to, because there is a lot of information out there and a lot of stuff on Instagram, and it's like, how do you know what's out there? And just, if you want to hop on and we can talk about some of the things that you, some of the herbs that you grow, the benefits that they have, some ways to start out your morning to just clean out your microbiome and liver cleansing and any of that stuff that you may feel could be beneficial. Would you be open to that?
Oh, I would love that. That would be amazing.
Yeah. And then that way, if you have something like a, I mean, you could possibly do something along the lines as well. Like, I do a community on Patreon, which is a platform for creators
Mhm.
to, there's different tiers of memberships, and you can invite people to these different tiers where you could do monthly meetups where you could talk about, okay, this month we're going to talk about this herb, or this, but or we're going to talk about Reiki, or whatever it is. You could have different tiers, and It's patreon.com. So anyone out there, if you are looking to create an online community of your own, this is an opportunity to do that, but also monetize your knowledge and create community. You can create free communities, you can create paid tiers, just an opportunity for you to be able to just start sharing more of your knowledge to people who may be seeking it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. If you're open to it, I'll talk to Mackenzie, and if you're okay with sharing your information with her, and then we can contact each other through email, and or if you want to just send me your email directly in the chat here, I can
Okay.
follow up with you there.
All right.
I'm
So
happy to make an introduction to whatever's easiest for you all. That's so special. I love it.
cool. Thanks, Mackenzie. So in fulfillment of this, and hello, Jerry, good to see you. I like your t-shirt. If you'd like, you can unmute.
Hello.
Hello.
That I had.
Where are you from?
Michigan.
All right. I was born in Farmington. Where are you from?
I'm in Brighton.
Brighton. Where is that?
96 and 23.
Is that near Detroit?
Yeah.
Okay. Anywhere near Rochester or Southfield,
Nope, other
Warren?
way.
Other way.
You're
Okay.
heading west. So it's
Okay.
between Howell and Milford.
Okay.
Or
Well, I left
Novi.
Michigan when I was 10, so I don't
Oh.
really remember roads. But good to see you. And would you care to share who you choose to be as your 3 core values?
My 3 core values. I choose to be a quilter,
A
a
quilter.
gardener, and occasional. No, my other one's going to be a grandma.
Grandma. Okay, so those are roles. And so what we want to do is go a little deeper. And when you think of
So,
quilter, what is the energetic positive impact that a quilter can have on the world?
okay, so it provides comfort, especially if
Comfort.
you're doing for like quilts of valor for vets, because my husband's a disabled vet.
Beautiful.
It provides me with peace, because it keeps my mind from going down those dark tunnels,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
So that's what quilting does for me. For grandma, that really brings me peace and happiness and joy and love and caring.
Beautiful.
And I get to be that kid again, and that time I couldn't have with my kids because, well, you're busy trying to work and take care of bills, and so
All
I get
that
to
adult
yeah.
stuff.
Yes. So
Yes.
with my grandkids, I get to be that little kid again and see the world through innocent eyes. And
Yep. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you could be today, I am comfort, peace, joy, love, childlike joy, all that good stuff. And if you were to think over the next 90 days, what you would like to create, what would you say?
I would like to create a safe space that's loving and caring, and a very peaceful. It's very quiet here now that the kids are gone, so that's an easy part.
Yeah.
And it was also a little hard because, well, the kids are gone. So yeah, I just, peace right now is my biggest thing. You know, I like the
Yep.
solitude, the no demands,
Mhm.
no feeling like I need to do this or I need to do that. It has to be done. I can do stuff on my terms rather than anything else. And one thing a boundary I've been setting is I do not have to answer every text or phone call that comes in immediately. I could do
There
it
you
on
go.
my time.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes, exactly.
So I'm gearing more towards me and what setting boundaries for other people, for my boundaries, you know,
Mhm.
that I'm not going to be available 24/7
Right.
unless if it's emergency. And my kids are the only ones that have that emergency set for.
Yeah. It's important to remember to just check in with yourself, your well-being, physically what you need. Your body will tell you what it needs, but we've got to slow down enough to tune into it and
Yep.
discover what it is. You know, sometimes we get into these habits or just patterns of, well, I'm going to wake up, eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm going to make some popcorn, eat some ice cream, whatever it is. And if you don't listen to your body, you may not even be hungry, but you're going to sit down and eat a full plate of dinner just because, well, that's what we do. And
Yep.
what's really important is that we start to tune in and just ask your body, what do you need? And literally talk to your body. And if your body could speak and tell you what it needs right now, what would it say?
It would say I need to do the exercises for the stuff I tore.
Okay. So please get some blood flowing into that area so that I
Yep.
can heal. My body would say, I need you to slow down, Colin, and do more breath work and get a little more sleep because I've been traveling so much. My body's like, I need you to give me more sleep. So if everyone
Yeah, I've been
here,
working on that one.
yeah, if your body were to tell you what it needs, what would it say? And then you can write it here in the daily manifests. Today's priority manifestation is I'm going to take a nap. Or for 30 minutes, I'm going to do, Deb or Jerry, what part of your body needs some movement?
My hip.
Your hip. Okay.
Yeah, I tore a ligament
Okay.
and part of my hamstring.
Oof. Wow. Are you doing some MMA?
No, I rolled over in bed
Oh, okay.
in the middle of the night.
All right. So for 30 minutes today, and we want to write it down in the schedule on the right, because if we don't write it down, it's not real. If something is in our heads, but it's not written down in reality, it's just an idea. It's just a wish. So, in order for us to live into the reality that we choose to create, it's important for us to implement the integrity of writing it down. If it's not written down, it doesn't exist. So, Jerry, what time today could you do 30 minutes of your exercises to heal your hip?
I planned on doing them about 2:30.
Okay. Interesting that you said about. How about
Yes.
we choose with certainty? Because this is what creates the uncertainty and the anxiety in our life. Well, I'll call you around 4. Well, is that 3:50? Is that 4:10? And then it creates this uncertainty of, well, it's like Russian roulette or like playing the slots.
Okay.
Are they calling? Are they calling? Am I supposed to wait by the phone? Am I supposed to take this call before? So let's give ourselves the gift of certainty. What time are you going to do your hip exercises?
2:30.
2:30. Yes.
2:30.
Excellent. Now, it may feel that when we create times in our calendar, what comes up for me sometimes is, well, now I'm confined or I'm tied to that. And what it can do is it can make us feel like we're losing our freedom.
Yes.
But what you'll find is by creating these certainties in our day, it frees up time for us then to create free time, to play, to create, to do the things that we want to be doing. And our brains and our subconscious like certainty. So let's give ourselves the gift of certainty. It's like when the cable people call and say, yeah, we'll be over between 8 and 12. Oh, come on. You can't give me like, what am I supposed to do? Just sit around and wait for you to like, I mean, what if I'm in the bathroom when you come and you knock and I can't, it's all kinds of anxiety and stress, right?
Yep.
So let's not be the cable people. Let's give ourselves the gift of honoring our time.
I can do that.
Excellent. And then throughout the day, we can create some other daily manifests. So for right now, let's take a couple of minutes and write out what you want to create. So instead of a to-do list, the reason why I created it as daily manifests instead of a to-do list, because a to-do list has an element or an energy of obligation. I got to do this. I have to do this. I have to go to the cleaners. I have to take my vitamins. I have to work out. And so, and again, by shifting the way in which things show up for us, we want to create an empowering context so that we are cause in the matter, that we are not having to or obliged to, that we get to. I get to do all my emails today in service of making an amazing positive impact in the world. I'm going to manifest my workout at
2:30.
2:30. So take a couple of minutes and fill in what you are going to manifest this week or today, excuse me. And then put it into the daily schedule on the right-hand side at what time you are going to be cause in the matter. And I'd encourage you to invite divine inspiration and creativity in creating whatever it is that you want to create today. Your physical therapy, your planting of herbs. So take a couple of minutes and write down what you are going to create today. And at what time? I haven't talked to my sister in a little bit, so I'm going to manifest calling my sister at 2 p.m. And today's priority manifestation can be the one thing that you are dreading the most. The thing that we dread the most having to do is the priority. That's the one we make the special effort and attention, give it special attention towards. Because when it's done, how do we feel? Ah, so glad I accomplished that one. And then it's done. Our brains do not like loose ends. It takes up bandwidth that we need to be able to create.
I just usually put that off to the next.
Yep. But it's always there.
Yeah, yes, it is.
And what you can do is on page 34 is the brain dump bucket. It's the first one. So you get to write in everything that's floating around in your noggin, everything, all of your worries, all of your thoughts, all of your tasks, your so-called to-dos. Dump it out here. Just a free flow exercise. There's a woman named Julia Cameron. She wrote a book called The Artist's Way. And she, in this book, encourages you every morning to write 3 pages, stream of consciousness. Just every morning, 3 pages, just write without filter, without judgment, without anything. And what that does is it opens up and frees up some bandwidth for you to be able to look out on the page what is stuck up here.
Yeah.
It's purging all of the thoughts, good, bad, ugly, frustration, love, whatever it is.
So put your fears on there too.
Fears down there, and then you can look at them and say, okay, where's this fear coming from? And then what you can do is then prioritize and put them into one of these 4 quadrants. If it's important and urgent, then you put it here. So whatever you've written here, you then prioritize into one of these 4 quadrants. And what you'll notice is that the not urgent but important things typically are those long-term goals that we have that we end up continuing to push down the road. And so they never really happen. I've always wanted to go to Italy. I've always wanted to write a book. I've always wanted to plant my own garden. I've always wanted to take a cruise to Alaska. It's
Live there.
important, but it's not urgent. So what we want to do is focus on quadrant 2, writing all those out, and then you can start to look at, well, what's not important but urgent, and can I get someone else to do it? Delegate it. And then the 4th one is not urgent and not important. And what you'll typically see is that a lot of the things that we worry about tend to be things that are not urgent. They're just lingering there. And if we look at them in the grand scheme of our life, they're not the important things, like worry. Is worry important? And is it urgent? No. So we want to delete it. And the way that we delete it is by shining a light on where is it coming from. We don't want to ignore it, but we want to look at it and embrace it and love it and then send it on its way. I hear you. And our brains are designed to keep us safe. Our brains are meaning-making machines. They're just ChatGPT in organic form. Garbage in, garbage out. Worry in, worry out. Positivity in, positivity out. Empowering thoughts in, empowering actions out. And then we can fill in our 90 days, and then we can start to design our day or our week by placing in our weekly calendar. What we want to do is focus on dreams and goals. Quadrant number 2, we want to put those in here first. Place your second quadrant, goals and dreams, first into the 30-minute time blocks below. These are the priority. So if you want to, one of your goals and dreams is to travel to Italy and go to the Amalfi Coast, you'd write in here, okay, today at 11 a.m., I'm going to go on Google and start Googling the best places in the Amalfi Coast to visit. And then maybe on Wednesday, you're going to research flights and find out how much they cost. And if it's a certain amount of money and you need the money, then on Thursday, I'm going to start thinking of ways to make additional income to make my trip happen. Our brains are very resourceful. We don't have to be resigned to our current circumstances. The reality of your life up until this point doesn't have to be the reality of your life forever. Do you pronounce it Ravon? Is that how you say your name?
Raven, I'm sorry for
Raven.
being a late arrival. Yes.
That's all right. How you doing,
How are you?
Raven?
Good. How are you? I got my book here. I just had times a little bit off.
That's all right. We're glad you're here, and now's the time.
Thank you.
Is any of this resonating with you, Raven?
Yeah, I'm playing catch up. I got the book and I had time to finger through it, but I really wasn't sure how to use it. And
Sure.
so I'm, catching up right now with some of the suggestions that you've made. One of my dreams was to hop into gardening. I put that into my dreams box, not urgent, but priority because it's kind of a seasonal thing for me.
Yeah.
So seeing that we would use, it looks like the manifest in design to break that down, not just leave it as just lump gardening. Maybe, you start with weeding and then maybe the next time it's on the schedule is watering.
Yep.
So I needed to be here because I didn't know how to use the book. It was helpful,
Yeah.
but I needed the
Yeah.
guidance. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you just start from the beginning of the book, I go through speaking about the formula for manifestation,
Okay.
which is right here. The manifest formula. There's 4 components to manifesting your reality.
Okay.
We want to start with gratitude energy and think about everything that you are grateful for in the world. No matter what your circumstances are, there's always something to be grateful for.
Yes.
And we want to specifically create what it is that is our ideal life and our ideal reality, our ideal scenario. And then we want to visualize living into what that is. And then by creating consistency and doing this consistently, we can start to rewire and change the way in which we perceive the world and how then we show up for the world. And so that we can start to tell the world who we are instead of relying on our circumstances to tell us who we are. So I walk through gratitude energy, and then you get to write out in these 6 different components of your life, what are you grateful for? I'm grateful that I have the ability to do the things in my life that honor me, no matter what. My health and wellness, what am I grateful for? In the arena of love, What am I grateful for? And if you feel like there's a lack of love in your life, choose love as one of your 3 core values. If there's a lack of love in your life, choose to be lived by love. And if you then show up in life through the perspective of love, love will show up.
Mm.
Who here has kids?
I
Yep.
do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So before you had children, you would just live your life and do your thing. But as soon as you got pregnant, when you show up and go out in the world, you started to notice more pregnant people and strollers and everything associated with babies and kids.
Right.
We want to orient our life around the things that are going to fill us up. What am I grateful for with my career, my family, my friends? Now, as an actor, 95% of Screen Actor Guild card carrying members are out of work. I'm an out of work actor right now. But what I'm grateful for in my career is that I have the opportunity to create my own projects, to audition, to read amazing scripts before anyone else gets to see them. So that is a part of being an actor, and auditioning and not getting the job 98% of the time.
Mm.
That's part of being an actor. But I'm grateful because I still get to live and breathe what it means to be an actor, to rehearse, to audition, to do all these really cool things. What are you grateful for regarding your family and friends? And then financially, what are you grateful for? And again, manifestation is all about resonating with the energy to be able to attract that future reality of what you desire in the present moment. So specifically, you want to write out what your personal day ultimate scenario looks like, what your workday ultimate scenario looks like. No holds barred, no judgment. The universe is your menu. You get to create this. And then by visualizing it, and what I've done is I've put together a guided visualization. So just use your phone to scan this QR code, and I guide you through a guided visualization. So today, if you want to do this, you can just click on there and I guide you through a really amazing visualization session that will help you live into this future reality of letting go of the things you want to let go of and embrace the things that you want to embrace. And then doing this consistently will help you start to create the habit of this is just who you are. And then for those of you who are into energy work and chakras, I talk about the 3 components or these 3 vortexes or 7 vortexes that essentially govern the different parts of our bodies. And what this does is it helps us start to create an awareness and a certainty in our life about what we know. I know that I'm healthy and well, regardless of what my doctors tell me. I know that I am healthy and well in spirit, in mind, in body, and I do everything that supports me in being healthy and well. And no matter how I'm feeling, I know with certainty that I'm here to make a loving impact in the world. I know that I've got a lot of people around me who support me. I see what I want to create in the near future and the long term. I see my legacy. And what is that? I speak the truth and I speak words of support and love rather than disempowerment. I love myself unconditionally, and I love myself even when I don't feel like loving myself. I do the difficult things that support me, and I do the things when no one is looking that honor me. I feel love and support because I choose to love and support myself. And I am unstoppable. I am supreme positivity. And then this is where we step into our brain dump. and then we prioritize it. And I give you examples here to walk you through how to use the book by creating in and writing in the days and what you want to accomplish, how to fill in the weekly manifestation, and then how to fill in your day to create the day that you choose to create. And then by using your pen, you go over these chakras. And if your chakra is open, it spins clockwise. If it's closed, it's counterclockwise or back and forth. So you can start to create the energetic openness of your chakras by taking your pen and just draw your spiral and say, I know, and and then fill in the blank. I know blank. I see blank, and take your pencil or your pen and open up your chakras. We want to be drinking 6 glasses of water every day. We want to meditate a couple times a day, even if it's for just a minute. We want to work out what we are grateful for. And I make today great by. And then over here, see how it's numbered 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 6, 9. In the world of numerology, those are the numbers of manifestation. And I talk about this leading up to this. So just go ahead and read the beginning part of the book. And then by writing out, I love how the universe always supports my dreams. And you write it 3 times in the morning, and then 6 times in the afternoon, and then 9 times in the evening. I love how the universe always supports my dreams. I love how the universe always has my back. I love that I support my body in healing itself. And then each day, I give you a different word prompt to draw to stimulate the right side, creative side of your brain so that we're not always in analytical worrying and fearing and trying to create, how am I going to figure this out? What am I going to do? What did my doctor say? When's my appointment? That's all analytical. We want to tap into the right creative side of our brain. And this is where most kids live in the world of creativity, the world of play, the world of fun. So draw courage. And so here you go. And then you get to start on your way here. And so each day here, draw inspiration. The next day, draw courage. The next one, draw a loving relationship. The next day, draw what fun looks like. What does fun look like if you were to draw it? And by doing this for 90 days, you're going to be supporting yourself in creating more certainty, fun, play, health, and wellness. And at the end of this 90 days, you're going to look back and be like, holy crap, look what I created. Amazing. So we've come up upon the hour, but before we leave, just want to have us take a nice deep breath in and start breathing in and being aware of our breath. And if we're going to be thinking about our chakras, what we want to do is start opening up our crown chakra to the wisdom and the intelligence of God and the universe, and invite universal God energy of I know. And the color of our crown chakra is violet. And so we want to envision a beautiful violet color of energy, inviting godlike divinity into our day. And if God were to be flowing through you with pure love, healing, patience, kindness, let that flow over every cell in your entire body, and take a nice deep breath in. Exhale out. And as we move down into our third eye chakra, I see, which is purpley indigo color. What do you see for yourself for the rest of the day and for the future that you create? Not what your meaning making, fearful brain is creating. And what do you see that you create? I see hugs, I see love, I see community, I see me on a movie set, I see me traveling into space one day. And what do you speak? What are the things that you don't say that need to be said, that you're not saying? What's holding you back? Take a nice deep breath in and start loosening up whatever it is that you need to say to someone. Nice deep breath in, breathe out. And know that if you speak with the words of love and honoring what your needs are, there's a way to communicate what you need without being needy. And remember, it's about honoring yourself and honoring the relationships that you have. And then with a nice green emerald energy, start to breathe in the energy of love into your heart center and start flooding your whole body with unconditional love. Start letting any of the shame or the guilt that you may be holding on to start to feel that melt away. And with this nice next deep breath in, let it flow around your heart center. And as you exhale, just exhale out any of that negativity or doubt, fear, shame, guilt, anything. Let it just breathe out and melt away and replace it with the next breath of unconditional love. And now that you're in this place of grounded, loving energy, what do you do? What do you do with that? How are you left called into action, fulfilling on what really matters most to you? Who are you going to call? Where are you going to go? As we move down into our sacral chakra, which is orange, put your hands on your belly. What do you choose to feel? Let's replace any of that fear, doubt, uncertainty with the certainty of knowing who you are and what impact you want to make in the world and on yourself and in your family. And I choose to feel peace, joy, love, comfort, appreciation, resilience. Nothing can stop me. No matter what I'm facing, no matter what I'm dealing with, nothing can prevent me from being who I am. As we move down into our root chakra and ground ourselves, feel our feet on the ground, tap your feet on the ground and plant them deeply, firmly on the ground. And imagine this beautiful ruby red color flowing through your legs, healing your hips and your knees, loosening up your calf muscles, flowing down and planting you firmly into the ground so that you know firmly your foundation on who you are and where you stand. And that you are here and that you matter. and that you are love, and you are the ability to show other people what it means to be brave, courageous, and loving in the face of anything. Take a nice deep breath in and let it flow through all 7 chakras. Let it splash down through every cell in your entire body, healing it, cleansing it with love, appreciation, joy, and resilience. As we come back to our present day morning, we are now grounded, and we are now firmly rooted in being able to step into the world and be who we truly choose to be.